Good evening, everybody. It is Sunday evening. It's 8 o'clock. It's time for the Tropical Update. We'll look at everything going on out there here in just a minute, just real quickly, because we are having changeable weather here in Houston and Southeast Texas. Let me give you a quick update on what's going on locally. We're still seeing a little bit of rain, southwest counties through Colorado County, Wharton County, Matagorda County down to the coast as a front pushes through. Now, it is a cold front technically. It's not going to make it colder, but it is going to make things less hot, and lower humidity is on the way starting tonight and tomorrow. That'll be nice. A little closer view, a few sprinkles in Columbus. Maybe Katy gets a sprinkle, Sealy as well here in the next hour or so. Now, near the coast, I expect this late shower activity to continue deep into the evening, maybe toward midnight, maybe even into the morning. We could see some showers down along the coast from Freeport, Surfside, Brazosport area down to Matagorda Bay. But even that will come to an end tomorrow as this front pushes in, and we'll update you on what this means for temperatures. You're going to like it on KHOU 11 News at 10 o'clock tonight. Okay, tropics update. Here we are, hurricane season. We are right on the statistical peak, basically September 10th. September 7th is today. September 10th is the peak. Anywhere in here, mid-August into mid-October, you can have very active development in the Atlantic Basin. As we look at what's happened so far as our forecasting from the Colorado State University, they're expecting 16 named storms. 14 is normal. They're expecting 8 hurricanes and 3 majors. So far we've had 1 hurricane and 1 major. That's it. So it's time to get busy if we're going to end up having an active season. Again, the storm count, Andrea, Barry, Chantal, Dexter were the first 4 names. Those were all very short-lived, very weak tropical storms. Then Aaron came along. That one came out of the main development region, developed into a Cat 5, missed the islands, thank goodness, missed Bermuda, missed the East Coast, missed everything. The center never hit land, and then it dissipated over the North Atlantic. But that's been our only hurricane, and ironically enough, it went to a Cat 5. And then Fernand popped up, and it's come and gone. It was a weak tropical storm. So this season so far, it has a flavor to it, and it is weak tropical storm, or we could just say it's the extreme. We either get a weak tropical storm, had 5 of those, or we get a Cat 5 hurricane. That's the way we've seen things go so far. This time of the year, most active part of the hurricane season in the Atlantic Basin. The entire basin is open for business, especially this time of year. You can get long track hurricanes that begin life out in the main development region here. They can go for thousands of miles and have plenty of time to gain a lot of strength. That is where Aaron was born and then became a Cat 5 as it came just north of the islands here, but again missed the islands, thank goodness, and then moved to the north and weakened. But you can really get systems popping up anywhere at any time across the Atlantic Basin this time of the year. Sea surface temperatures, they're plenty warm, and really this is like checking a box. Anytime you've got sea surface temperatures 80 or above, you can get tropical development. Just because you've got 87-degree sea surface temperatures in the Gulf doesn't mean you're going to have a bunch of hurricanes, even though we're that warm. It takes a lot of other things to go right to get a storm to develop, but the ingredients, or the base ingredient, is there: warm water. So that lies across the entire basin, the Carib and the Gulf. As far as what's going on out here above all that warm water, not much. There's a tropical wave here. There's a tropical wave here, denoted them with the dashed lines, but neither wave is showing any signs of development. Neither wave is forecast to develop. Now, this one was the one that earlier this past week had up to a 90% chance for development, so said the Hurricane Center, but it just couldn't get going. Looks like dust got involved with that and squashed it and did not let it develop. And then this one, sitting in a relatively dust-free area here in the central Caribbean, but showing absolutely no signs of development. It continues to drift west. Models do not develop it. And so things right now are, I would say, unusually quiet for this time of the season in the Atlantic Basin. Just looking back at history, I did a real quick cursory look over the past 50 years. How many times over the last 50 years, how many seasons did we go to September 10th and have no named storms in the Atlantic Basin? And according to just a real quick look at it, it happens about 25% of the time. So not unheard of. It's not like it never happens, but about a quarter of the seasons going back 50 years, we've gotten to September 10th, and on that specific day, the statistical peak, we did not have a a tropical storm out there. Didn't mean we had a quiet season. It just meant on that moment on the statistical peak there was no named storm, and that looks likely the way this one is going to go down as well. So Hurricane Center officially says no activity expected over the next 7 days. Now, we've seen this all season long, and we've seen several times where we expected no activity over the next 7 days, and the next day we woke up with a spot that had a 20% or 30% chance for development. So, you know, basically modeling says nothing. The atmosphere will decide what it wants to do. Take it one day at a time and make sure you're watching the update somewhere. This is a great place to get it, but I want you watching the update somewhere, at least once a day. So if something does pop up on our doorstep, nobody gets caught off guard. Okay, the dust. It looks like this is what stopped the development of the wave we were watching earlier in the week out here. Thick dust right over where it was going to be developing about this time this time in the forecast. This takes us out to next Thursday. Earlier runs earlier in the week had a tropical storm or hurricane here, but now they have nothing, and it looks like the dust is the greatest factor in that. That being said, like I showed you, we've got a tropical wave here where there really isn't much dust at all, and it's not forecast to develop either. It's just not a very vigorous wave. So for the moment, everything remains quiet. Now, this is interesting. This will be the most interesting part of the whole talk tonight. Computer models. So when we are just looking at long range, broad brush, what's going to develop out here, we use the Euro and the GFS. We run these models simultaneously. We show this every night. And between now and next Wednesday, it shows absolutely no development in the open Atlantic, the Carib, or the Gulf. Long straight lines over the water indicate nothing cutting off, no low pressure areas cutting off. So tropics remain quiet through next Wednesday, according to the Euro and the GFS. We're going to push this out in time. We'll go out 10 days, and what you'll see is continued nothing developing here, but watch where we do get development. Now remember, the models are running simultaneously, so we're not expecting 2 hurricanes on the Pacific side, but we are expecting a storm, or at least the long-range models are sniffing out the good possibility of a storm forming here off the coast of Acapulco, or a storm being here off the coast of Cabo San Lucas as we get into September the 16th. So that's 10 days out, more than a week out. There's a lot of uncertainty. So uncertainty grows as you try to go that far out in time. So take that with a grain of salt. But one thing that we do see over time, a pattern, is that when we have a very active Pacific, quite often that will correspond with a very quiet Atlantic. So that is what the models are suggesting. No development on our side for the next 10 days. Again, we'll just continue to take this one day at a time, but it is interesting to see potential development, say the computers going into the Pacific in 8 to 10 days. Okay, what about Monday? You're going to love it. After this rain clears out overnight, lower humidity is going to build in. So we start in the upper 60s, slightly cooler, lower humidity, and then a high temp, less hot, high of 89 forecast for tomorrow afternoon. That will be lovely. Looking forward to that. Lower humidity, it'll be comfortable in the shade. The extended forecast, we stay with this lower humidity, which begins tomorrow, and lows in the 60s Tuesday and Wednesday. Nice mornings, get your run in early, you have a little extra spring in your step. And then we do slowly see a little bit of humidity slowly come back. You see that reflected in the low temperatures going up. That means we're going to be more humid and the air won't be able to cool off as much. And then we get back to low to maybe mid-90s by next Saturday. The other thing you notice is after today's rain and this evening's rain comes to an end, no rain expected for the next 7 days. We haven't seen that in our summer forecast for a long time. It's been the summer where it rained almost every day as we went through, the first half of June, July, and a big chunk of August as well. All right, that is where we stand. We'll take a closer look at temperatures, your wake-up temperatures in your neighborhood when we see you on our next live broadcast. That's on KHOU 11 News at 10 tonight. I say it's at 10. It's right after the MTV Music Awards. After that, a little bit after 10 o'clock.